Chapter 5. Chart Divergence. When transits shift in other timelines, a small variation in initial conditions can lead to dramatically different outcomes. Edward Lorenz, Father of Chaos. Theory. What if you had been born 3 minutes later? What if your parents had moved to a different city just before your birth? What if your soul entered another version of your body in a nearby timeline where Mars had just crossed your mid-heaven? These aren't just idle questions. They're the keys to understanding chart divergence, a powerful concept in multiversal astrology that explains why different timelines produce different versions of you based on slight shifts in the heavens. The butterfly effect and the natal chart. In chaos theory, the butterfly effect refers to the idea that a small cause can trigger massive results, like a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil and causing a tornado in Texas weeks later. In quantum astrology, a similar idea applies. A few minutes shift in planetary motion. A radically different you. A Funderground shift can move the moon from Aries to Taurus. A few seconds can change your rising sign entirely. A minute of Mars movement can redefine how you act, react, or lead. These variations multiply across timelines, resulting in parallel birth charts for versions of you that became an artist instead of an entrepreneur, married early instead of staying single, had a breakthrough at 30, or never did. What causes a chart to diverge? Here are some variables that can create multiversal splits. 1. Slightly altered birth time or place, a change in longitude, latitude, different house cusps, a delay in delivery, altered ascendant, a cesarean instead of natural birth, time-skewed incarnation. 2. External cosmic interference, solar flares, eclipses, planetary retrogrades at birth. Comet sightings or asteroid crossings could open unusual energetic doors in some timelines. 3. Soul-level decision points. In esoteric traditions, the soul chooses the time-location of entry. In multiverse theory, multiple valid entry points exist, and your soul may anchor into one of several options, depending on higher dimensional factors. 4. Observer collapse in consciousness. Your parents' awareness, doctors' decisions, or even collective events, like 9/11, pandemics, etc., may influence which version of the timeline unfolds. Examples of divergent chart paths. Let's look at a fictional soul named Amari, born on August 22, 1995, at 2:31 p.m. in Atlanta, GA. Timeline rising sign moon placement divergent destiny, a Scorpio Pisces moon shadow worker, psychologist healer, B Sagittarius Aries, moon firebrand activist, podcast host, traveler, C Libra Aquarius moon tech savvy fashion mogul, married by 26D Scorpio Pisces moon. Same base chart, but Mars was retrograde, led to more passive initiation and delayed success. Each timeline unfolds a different version of self, yet all of them are real. In quantum terms, they coexist in the multiverse. Transits and timeline influence your transits. Planetary movements relative to your natal chart act like tuning forks that align or misalign you with certain potential timelines. But here's where it gets wild. A transit in this timeline may not match the transit in another. That means, in your current reality, Pluto may be squaring your Venus. But in another timeline, Pluto already passed and you fully integrated that lesson. In yet another, Venus is in Leo, not Virgo, so Pluto triggers different karma. This may explain why. Sometimes growth feels delayed or out of sync. You may have déjà vu before a transit happens. You remember parts of yourself that haven't occurred in this timeline yet. Divergence points in your life. Look back at in your life. Childhood accidents or changes in environment. Key moments where you had to choose between two paths. Emotional echoes or memories that don't quite belong. These may be bleed-throughs from other timelines, where your chart is slightly different, reflecting altered transits, aspects, and outcomes. Your soul may be cross-communicating with those versions through dreams, déjà vu, and intuitive downloads. Chart divergence in practice. Some tools we'll explore later. How to construct alternate versions of your natal chart. Tracking hypothetical birth times that still resonate. Using astrology software to shift time and location and study outcomes. Building transit divergence maps to understand quantum forks in your path. Coming up next. In the next chapter, we meet your astro doppelgangers, alternate versions of yourself with the same or similar charts, living out wildly different expressions. We'll explore 3 case studies showing how even near-identical charts can lead to radically different lives and what you can learn from those reflections.